What we could do is use the animal cooling loop. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then back down. We'll make these a super low priority so they get done last, so that the main bulk of the work. Actually, we can just go ahead and cancel those for the time being. And then we'll disconnect that once the cooling loop is in place. I would actually like it if we could get some radiant pipes around here, just to grab as much of that heat as we can. High thermal conductivity, thermally reactive. Sounds good to me. Overheat temperature is -20, but we can... this might be a bit of a silly thing to do. But let's go ahead and... Well, I'll wait for the pipes to be laid first, and then we'll connect them all up. No, those are 8s. Those are not 9s. Me use 9s? Never. Never done it. Never will. What? Don't even know what you're talking about. What is 9? I can only count to 8. La 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 to you too. Okay, there they go. They finally broke that off, so we're now dumping all of this liquid down. Down all the way. At this stage, it would be better for us to actually have that liquid just drain directly into the pool down there. So when we go ahead and do that. Yeah, we can leave that at 5. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But at this stage, most of the liquid that we're dealing with is going to be the right temperature. Most of the liquid that we're sending up is going to be the right temperature. Because when we're no longer interrupting the power supply of our aqua tuners. Of course, you know, what we could do is we could get some wolframite. Yeah, let's get some wolframite into tungsten. So for the time being, I'm going to shut down these. So it's just the tungsten we're making. Then I can compare the two. Although I suppose I could have compared the two by going through this. Yeah, we should have done that. So, tungsten has a specific heat capacity, so very low specific heat capacity and a frankly crazy thermal conductivity. Very nice. Actually increases the overheat temperature, which is interesting. Very interesting. And then lead. Let's have a look at you. Not about half as much thermal conductivity. Lower overheat amounts, but not quite half as much specific heat capacity. Let me just double check that I got that number right, but I'm very certain I did. No. So tungsten is by far the better conductor of heat. By far and away the better conductor of heat. So we will use that in areas where I think we need to drain the heat out of an area specifically. I'm very hopeful that this is slowly but surely driving the CO2 along, but it's really not. These oxyferns are doing a decent job, but not really fast enough. What I may need to do is have a carbon scrubber on this side of the base. Or maybe even just down in here. That's another thing I could do. Well, thank you very much for the 6 months. Half a year. Thank you so much, mate. Okay, I'm off to play some Aliens Legendary Encounters on TTS. Take care, Aavak. Oh, take care, Belial. Have a good one, mate. But yeah, this CO2 trap in here is really quite annoying. Now, one thing I could do to deal with that to a certain extent is to cycle the air in here on a constant basis. Because we've got a very breathable atmosphere in here. What I could do is seal off these areas so that oxygen isn't really moving around too much down here. And set up a little oxygen pump, or rather gas pump, set up to a atmos sensor that detects if it's above 1,000 grams. If it's above a kilo of any gas, it activates and just pumps it straight out. So we'd have a constant cycle. It's not like we'll hurt for the oxygen because we're producing more than we can use. A lot more than we can use, actually. But that would cycle the air in here, which would also drop the temperature a little bit. Well, actually, no. The air in here is actually fairly warm coming in, generally speaking. One way I could correct that is by having our cooling loop go through the area there, but I'm not sure on that one. What do you think, Chad? Do you feel we should go that route and cycle the air in the base back outside? I could make a little CO2 sink by opening this, just driving it down just a little bit so more CO2 just gets pushed down into this tiny little area. But it'll never get consumed. Yeah, cycling the gas in the base is probably a good idea. If I do that, though, one thing I'm going to need to do is to stop putting oxygen into the base on this side. And the reason for that is if I'm only inputting oxygen over here, but I'm drawing it out... Well, if I had the gas vent down here, then I could input the oxygen up here, it's fine. It all would flow down and then get sucked out over here. So the general flow of air would be in this direction. But if I only input the oxygen over there and didn't change the vents as they are, I could have a pump, maybe in here, or something similar, that would draw air from around the base over to this point, and then dump it. That mightn't be a bad idea. I'm undecided, though. Let me know what you think, chap. Let me know what you think. Let's get more of this done, please, and thank you. Want to get that next power setup. Oh, wow. You know what? If it's below 1 gram, activate. It looks like we have almost completely emptied this area, so maybe we don't even need this. We're just going to keep pulling things out until there's like no chlorine left. There'll be nothing left in here. The chlorine is just getting dumped, though, as well as the oxygen and anything that isn't natural gas. But as you can see, we haven't got a lot of power there. And in fact, on that note, I probably need to stop worrying about things like down here and get my oil processing up and running as a bit of a higher priority. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So the petroleum generator consumes 2 kilos of combustible liquid, produces 500 grams of CO2 and 750 grams of water, polluted water, produces a humongous amount of power, but it's going to get hot. It's going to get very hot. So the best place for me to situate this would be over here, I think. Near to the very cold CO2 vent. Let's move it across just a little bit, though. So that we're not right up against all of this. That way it gives us a little bit of room to play around with, I think. Cooling for the generator. Didn't connect the pipes yet. Oh, that's right. I was waiting for them to be finished. Good call. Thank you. Thank you very much on that one. I got a little bit distracted. Then I got worried about the fact that I was distracted. There we go. And disconnect these. That will allow any of the gas, the liquids that are being sent to the animal farm, to the ranch over here, to be cooled. We need that in here in particular. We're using radiant copper pipes there to keep the meal lice going, which is absolutely imperative that we have. Why are you harvesting these meal lice? You shouldn't harvest them. Ever. There we go. Though that, I suppose, is why we had the lice loaf on forever. Alright, I'll allow it. If we've just got meal lice being produced anyway, but Dracos that aren't eating their food, that's fine. I don't mind that. There we go. So now we've got cool liquid heading up, which should be absorbing all of this heat very nicely. And with that, we should now be able to use some tungsten radiant pipes. This is 4 tiles long, so we'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab those 2. Grab these 2. Once again, those 2. These 2. That is expensive. That is crazy expensive, actually. Let's not do the top. Let's just do the bottom. Those 2. Those 2. And we need just 100 more. And then we've got about as good a setup as we can have. We've still got a little bit more wolframite that we need to work on. We'll get to that shortly. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait on that one being available so I can set it up. But for now, let's go ahead and copy these settings over. There we go. Get some more Weezewarts going, and that will gradually help. It's coming in at 25, it's leaving at 29. Once we've got the radiant pipes in, it is going to be leaving at like 60. We are going to be giving... Ooh. It's going to be leaving at 60 and going straight into the base. Yikes. We need a way of pulling that away. So, liquid thermal sensor, please, and thank you. Let's make sure we get this one done as an 8 right there. Liquid shut off, an 8. Just want to hook you up. Fine. Connect that there. Does that need power? Yes, it does. Vexing. Oh, well. It's fine. We'll just bring across the heavy watt wire for this tiny little spot. If that is of a certain temperature, then I need this to bypass the base entirely. And go meet up down here. Like this. Maybe it'll pick up a little bit of cool from the wheeze water around here before heading back, and that'll save me a little bit of power in having to cool it, but that'll be quite good if we can get that all running. We got the tungsten yet? Yes, we do. So let's pop that into place. Oh, wait. No. Yes, yes, we did. That should be tungsten. Yes, it is. Glorious. Let's make sure that that's done quickly so that we can start bringing this heat down nice and fast. Actually, make that a 7 so that the overflow, or rather the bypass, gets done first. Make it a 6, in fact. There we go. Alright, now with that done, I can return to worrying about all of this. We need to crack into the oil in here and set up a oil well. Not an oil refinery, an oil well. Can there be stations? No. Utilities, perhaps? Oil well, here we go. This produces a bit of heat, but the overheat temperature is stupidly high. If I made it out of steel, it would be even stupidly higher. But really, I'm only adding one... well, actually, I'm adding a 1/10 to its overheat temperature, so I guess. I'll be honest, I've rarely, and by rarely, I really do mean rare, ever gotten to play around with oil. So I am a complete noob with this, and I would warmly appreciate any help you could offer with that. Is it something I need to worry about? Should I bother making it out of steel? Would that realistically be something worth doing? I mean, there's plenty of CO2 still in here. Is it actually dropping, though? I can't tell. No, I think it's increasing. I think it's slowly pushing up. The other thing I could do, interestingly, is have this be a high-pressure gas vent. And then check to see if there's any CO2 over here. And if there is, keep that pushing more and more and more and more oxygen into this area. Or prevent it from going up to like 4 or something like that. Because eventually that would push the CO2 out of the way. Steel is optimal for oil. That doesn't surprise me. It seems like an incredibly hot industry, so sure, we'll go with a steel oil well then. I'll pump it in there. Now, how do the oil wells work? Liquid intake pipe requires 1,000 grams of water, produces 3,000 grams of oil. Okay. But the water is gone, but that's fine. That's fine. So with 3,000 grams of oil, we're going to easily be producing... Oh, well, actually, it depends on the refinement process. Let me have a look. Is it 1 for 1? 10 kilos of crude oil go in. 5 kilos of petroleum come out. So, no, we're actually losing. We're losing petroleum over that. And then we only get some of the polluted water back. But we've got enough water geysers around that isn't actually a problem for me. That's really not, but that's 10 kDTUs is being produced by this oil refinery. Yikes. Yikes. That one's going to be another one that's going to need to be made of steel. Do I want to do the refining over here? You know what? I think I might. It produces some natural gas, though. Interesting. I could perhaps make a little area with a gas hood to grab that, because we're bathed in CO2 here, which is heavier than natural gas, so the stuff that would go up would always be natural gas. Huh. That may well be a good option. Create a little gas hood. And just have a much like we've got the SPOM, create some sort of system whereby the natural gas is pulled into a vacuum and thus creates a gas lock, and then will only activate at a certain pressure. That would remove a requirement for a filter, if nothing else. Okay, the oil well also produces natural gas. Ah, alright. Well, still, we've got an enormous amount of CO2 over here. Okay, well, in that case, I may want to set up a little something you do down here, then. We're going to use granite for this, because I'm going to try and cool the floor, if I can. Now, we've also got an oil reservoir down there that I would probably want to pull into this in the same way. Maybe I'm going to end up with several little gas hoods. We have a tricky one, actually. Or I could try and keep it isolated and just have one vent somewhere around here that just dumps the CO2 back out, and then... Yeah, that's probably going to be a better option. If I'm honest, that's probably going to be the smarter move. Yeah. Yeah, we won't worry about it over much. But I will try and have granite at the bottom. Probably granite at the top and a pump in this area. We'll have this be the main area, so we will have both the refinery and the oil well in here. Something like so. And we'll bring other oil into this area. We'll have... It doesn't really matter, I suppose, but I guess we could have the vents over on the side, or the gas pump, over in the far corner over there. Shouldn't be much of a problem. And a nice manual airlock there. We will then encase this in insulation to try and limit the heat escape. If we do this, though, we absolutely need this hooked up to our cooling loop. Because without it, oh, it's going to get hot. Oh, the hot. It will be far, far crazy heat. Wow. Much wow. I need this to activate if the green circle, if the temperature is above 25 degrees. It's going at 24. That's actually kind of impressive. Then again, it's not really able to grab that much heat from here going... Oh, well, actually... You're going to see some of this coming down now with a decent amount of heat. Whoa, okay. Can we please get this done sharpish? Looks like we've set all of that up now, so we no longer need to worry about it. And any packet that comes down here with a heat above 25 is going to get shunted off straight to go get cooled. Here we go. Here's some hot water coming in. And current temperature for one. If it's what? If it's above 1, it's above 25. Activate. And why isn't it activating? Pipe locked. Oh. Well now. Okay. Okay, yeah, we're starting to see the problem here a little bit. This whole system is backstuffed. I need to decide which of these should get priority emptying, I guess. I'm starting to feel like a second liquid reservoir is the main way that we're going to resolve this. So there's a higher capacity of liquid storage. But it's not going to increase the throughput. of the liquid out of getting the liquids out of there. It's just going to allow me to store them for longer. More of the liquids will then be stuck over here before entering the loop, which means it'll be larger periods of dormancy while the loop is trying to pull the temperatures down. Not exactly ideal, but let's actually get that done rather quickly because this is a bit of a pain. Now, given this system, I'm going to say that I don't want anything moving down here if it's like 40 degrees. I want that to so I want to give the priority for the motion of this system. Deconstruct that out of the 9. Copy it. We'll pop this one down. Well, I've got to wait for that to go first, actually. But I will have this system set up to give priority to the liquids from the top. So if it is hotter than 25, it's just going to bypass everything. It won't move through the main base at all. Thus won't contribute its heat to anything. Now this should move a lot more stuff. Hopefully. There we are. Things should start moving a bit more freely. Well, that being said, of course, if it's just this loop, it's just going to keep pushing into here and coming out at exactly the same speed. So realistically, I actually want this one to go across instead and just go straight in there. Oh no, there we go. It is actually starting to move around properly. But the real issue here is that this loop basically doesn't allow for any additional movement. We haven't got any increased throughput of liquids through this section. So no matter what we do, that's not really going to fix anything. I dislike it. Dislike it. Let's go ahead and deconstruct this. Hello, Phobos. I'm doing well today, mate. Thank you very much for asking. How are you doing? The sun is a deadly laser, yes. But it's okay. We've got a blanket. Okay. What's the temperature in here? Temperature in here is 29. Temperature in here is 28. Why is this bypassing? It's because I'm out of power that's not working properly. Damn it. Yeah, we've probably exhausted our supply of natural gas up here. Yeah, looks like it. Let's copy this across. Yeah, we've exhausted all of the natural gas in that area. I mean, there's tiny amounts. Oh, right, okay. So I've been dumping a lot of pressure up here, not really carrying it away. So as a result, this is now backed up. A bit of an issue. And there's not really anything I can do to remove that pressure either. So there is a little bit of natural gas in here, but 7.8 cycles until it kicks in again. We're gonna get some coal. Sorry guys, I've lost my magic. Somewhere along the line, the magic was lost. It's very, very sad. Exceptionally sad, in fact. There we go. Now the line is working properly. It seems that we had enough There we are. Power is coming through. It's cooling stuff down, because typically this shouldn't be backing up. Because if the output from this isn't cold enough, it should go through the thermoactive tuner a second time. So that allows this to dump off into this reservoir and keeps the whole system moving. There we go. Things are gradually improving now. And the liquids coming down here after they've passed through 4 radiant pipes are picking up quite a lot of heat. Quite a lot of heat, actually. There we are. I'm starting to feel a little bit that no matter what I do, this area is never going to be particularly cool. So by sending the cooling liquid up here, I'm just guaranteeing that this particular pipe is never going to get any cool liquid running through it. I might want to split this off instead and just give it equal priority. I'm not sure on that one yet, though. Either way, let's get down here and start digging. There's a liquid... Oh, it only has a liquid intake, so it's going to dump its oil out onto the ground. Oh. Oh. Right. In that case, then, I guess I'm going to want this there. And I can have granite up. Well, we'll give it a little bit of room either side. There we are. And then we'll collect all of that down here. Now again, this is going to be probably very hot, so we'll use a steel pump there. I agree. I don't know what he was saying. I agreed out of sympathy. Let's... I would like to get all of this liquid up rather than waste it, but I guess it doesn't really matter, all things said and done. We're going to be producing loads of it, but there's a part of me that doesn't like the idea of this just sitting there. Like, at all. Like, really, really dislikes it. So what I could do, I suppose, is this instead. And have a large potential reservoir of oil down here. I mean, you know, and we could even have an oil drop-off, actually. Thinking about it, that's not a bad idea, simply because if this is going to be where I do my refining, I'm going to want oil from other locations delivered here. That does, in fact, make some sense. So we'll get rid of that. We'll have a ladder going down on this side. That should work okay. And for the time being, we will excavate everything out on this side as well. Might as well, I suppose. I want to excavate everything up the top so we can get to all of this. We will prevent the inner cladding for now, just so that I can get all of the insulation done. And then we will get everything else built in. We will also need a deposit of liquids over here. So I'm thinking something there. Liquid pipe, it's probably going to be hot liquid, so we'll have this delivered like so. Inside here, it doesn't matter, I guess. We're also going to need water delivered, so let's oh no, we want the water delivered down there, because we don't want to take up these spaces. Where I'm going to have granite is where the cooling is going to happen, where the magic happens. Well, I might just have the cooling go through the middle rather than the top and the bottom. I don't know. I could go through the bottom and then up the top and just allow the heat down here.